When I arrived in Saudi Arabia a week ago, before and even on the day I arrived, I was a little apprehensive. Fear of the unknown, didn't know what to expect, and unsure about how I should behave, other than, of course, respectfully. And of course, culturally, it's very different to the Western world in which I live. And even when I arrived, I was unsure when I was wandering around, going to the shopping centres. Fast food outlets have 2 queues based on families or single people, but yet that's changing because here in Jeddah it's a very modern, and actually, as I found out, a very liberal city. So women drive, women work, and even that's fairly new. The waterfront behind me is months old, and they're right now at almost 9:45 on a Thursday night. There are hundreds of families sat down, chatting, picnicking, kids playing around in one of the many playgrounds, running around freely because it's perfectly safe. And yes, of course, culture is a very important thing here. It's an Islamic country, and the calls to prayer that happen 5 times a day are deeply religious, but actually enchanting to a Westerner who hasn't experienced that before. And would I bring the family here? Do you know? Yes, I would. It's loads for the kids to do. There's so many places to eat. There are cinemas coming up, there are activities, concerts, live performances in restaurants, all of these relatively new behaviour. And there are parts of Saudi Arabia that are more conservative, and I know that Saudi Arabia has its own issues, many of which of course I don't agree with, or agree with depending on which side you're coming from, of course. Clearly there's an effort to increase tourism here. There's money going into businesses like the blue building behind me. You've got the Sofitel Hotel, the Hilton, the Waldorf Astoria, the Radisson, and more hotels going up as well. Vision 2030 is a Saudi Arabia initiative that is aimed by 2030 to create a country that's more attractive to businesses and people, including a city in the north of the country where the emphasis on developing artificial intelligence technology, a leader not just in the country but in the region, maybe even possibly the world. So there is money going into education and jobs. The people here are incredibly friendly. They are very warm and welcoming, and very caring, and it is incredibly safe. And I'm really surprised by how liberal this place is. And as much as I'm looking forward to going home and seeing my family after a week away, I'm going to miss it. And as I say, I can imagine bringing the family back one day. I think they would enjoy it. It's I'm really surprised, but absolutely delighted I came. So there you go. That's my summary of Jeddah on the east coast of Saudi Arabia.